So Srishti Digilife is a multi-brand and multi-discipline marketing company representing some of the best brands in the industry. So not only are they headquartered in Singapore, they also have regional offices in India, Malaysia, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. Founded in 2007 by Mr. Vijay, their company is sought after by prominent brands such as Phase 1, Pro Photo, Manfrotto, Gitzo, Lowepro, Joby, Tether Tools, Ilford, and even Kodak to represent them in various countries. And with their well-diversified team from across the region, they aim to continue improving themselves to better understand the market and better serve the wider photography community in the world.
Alright, welcome back guys to another episode of Light Talk. So for today's topic, we are going to talk about So Benny, you have been in the wedding industry, right, for a very, very long time. How many years has it been?
I started since year 2000 until now. Yeah. No, actually before that, during my study days, I already freelanced as a wedding photographer. So, wow, I think it's like probably 20, 30 years, I would say, yeah.
30 years, that's very, very long. So like, how has it been for you so far? Like these 30 years of journey, in the wedding industry, like, how has it been?
It's been really interesting, and especially you do see a change in how weddings are carried out these days. From very traditional, now people are breaking free from the traditions, are taking a more modern and simple approach. And now, very currently, we are all challenged with the COVID situations where big weddings are not possible, and we have to have it in very cozy settings these days.
So you're talking about COVID-19 and stuff, this time round, like how are you handling during this situation, for the wedding? Like, are you having any jobs or still continue your shooting?
Yes, we do have jobs, but as you know about the restrictions, if you have I think the comfortable size is 50. I'm going to take up an assignment which has got 250 people, and as you know, due to the restrictions, they're going to split into different zones. All the attendees need to be tested, COVID tested, wait for results. So I guess very much the first part of the wedding is the administrative part of being in this COVID situation. And I think a lot of couple is not enjoying that because that has got nothing to do with the wedding. But having said that, people are also anxious in getting married. They are taking it, they have to embrace that. Probably it's a new norm, moving on. So hopefully things will get better. Yeah.
Then, Xing Jie, because you also shoot photographies and stuff, have you had any experience shooting in the same industry, like in terms of wedding photography and stuff?
I always felt that for me, wedding is something very personal. So if it's very close friends or people that I've known for a long time, yes, I don't mind shooting it. Whether entering the industry fully, I haven't made the decision yet. But as of now, I still want to focus more on clientele kind of based photography.
You're feeling the barrier because you haven't get married yet, so you cannot relate to them.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Like maybe that's the reason why maybe wedding photography is like something I can't really relate to at this point of time.
Yeah. So like you talk about you tried a bit, haven't been into fully in the industry of wedding photography, right? So like what do you think, like what are the barriers, and like for someone, right, who wants to come in, what are things that people find difficult coming into the wedding industry?
I was having a chat with you clear? Or is that your name? Yeah, okay. Yeah, earlier about getting into wedding industry. I was just telling her that getting a wedding is probably the least barrier to entry into this industry. You see, you have like...
No lah, because I see wedding, right, there's very like, within a day, right, you must prepare every single thing for them. And on the actual day of wedding, when the bride is very stressed up, the groom is very stressed up, that's where all the problems come.
That's where I want to touch on. Taking the photos is easy, but that is the problem where you find it challenging. Then you also say that it happens to your friends and relatives. So it is easy to get involved in a wedding photography within your close circle of friends or relatives. So the entry to wedding photography is really not that difficult, but to be good, it is not easy because you have to understand wedding itself and the complexity in this industry and also in the craft. So normally we always preempt our customers like what could go wrong. Well, we don't want to be a wet blanket to them, but we want to bring our expertise on the table and they say, okay, well, in short, manage the expectations. So I guess then they will say, oh, this guy is experienced. I think I'd rather hear from you. So sometimes we end up being double up as a wedding consultant as well. I won't say as a wedding consultant, but with how so many weddings we see, we just guide them along. So I think what I'm trying to put across here is that we want them to find comfort in us. Okay. So when they are comfortable and when they are happy, pictures can happen easily. Imagine that they are all tensed up and all that, and you are looking for some journalistic moments. Half of the times they are looking grouchy and they're not happy because something is not turning out the way they want. Then I guess that really affects the photo. But I've done a wedding where there's so many screw ups and I managed to look at little pockets of happiness. So at the end of the wedding, before they came and they walk into my studio, when they receive the photos, they say, I don't know how my wedding pictures are going to look. I say, it's full of screw-ups and all that.
That's why I think it's like wedding doing wedding this kind of thing, sibei gang because you know why? Because you want it to keep it natural and stuff. But it's very hard for you to keep it natural when you're in front of camera. I mean myself whenever I'm in front of camera, right, I feel a bit tensed up and变得很不自然it's not natural anymore.
Okay, then I have the second part of the story to tell. So when they flip the album, they say, oh my god. I say, what happened? Because my expectation is that they don't like their photos because they already have a very negative mindset about what has happened in the wedding. They say, I don't believe that there are moments of happiness in my wedding. Then I say, the truth there is, but you're just overwhelmed with whatever negative that ever happens. That's why I'm actually looking for little pockets of happiness where, sometimes when friends come to you, you just forget, and for that moment you just engage. And those are the kind of moments that we are looking at. And what I want to put across to people who are getting married is, if you choose to be happy, you will be happy. And happiness is a matter of choice. Not because you spend money in a 5-star hotel and everything, you have the limelight and all the glamour, all those kind of things. These are all bullshit. Happiness lies within you. That's what I want to put across to most of my customers.
So for wedding, this kind of thing, I think the most important thing, I mean, based on what you have shared, because you have friends who shoot wedding, Xing Jie, and also you have already been dealing with clients who do us wedding, right? Really, I think one of the barriers for entry, right, is really whether people are able to build the kind of trust and relationship with their clients. Because I think, I don't know, I mean, ideally what I'm imagining it to be, right, is that people, you trust your photographer, what they're going to do, whatever shit they're going to handle, and then just let it flow.
Probably what I see, what you're trying to say about barrier to entry is when you start to charge a sum of money, then people start to be selective. Because when people pay, people expect. And these days, the good and the great, the difference, it's very little, but yet to deliver the great shots, the effort you put in is tremendously a lot. So to be great, what I'm trying to say is that if you want to be a great photographer, be prepared to put in your heart and soul into your craft, and that's when you stand out and you shine above the rest. So I don't think being in the wedding industry is a bed of roses, but it's really a lot about being very passionate about what weddings are all about. It's a beautiful thing, but many underlining things, like a lot of wedding is not a day. It's actually a lot of things that build up to the wedding day itself, like choosing the gown, choosing the photographer and all that. So when a couple comes to me and they want me to the wedding photographer, I don't paint them a destination like, oh, photography is the only thing, but rather it's a journey where they start from choosing the gown and all that, and how they can actually derive happiness from each and every step they take towards their wedding. And I say from then on, you'll be, if you really want to be happy forever, it's really about your choice, because I think along the way, living together, you have your own sets of problems. I mean, being married myself, we know what a marriage is like.
Yeah. So are you happy? Are you happy in your marriage?
Sometimes happy, sometimes not so happy, but overall, still happy lah. You know, like what I say, happiness is a choice, right? So if things don't go your way, wow, if you look at it on the brighter side, yeah, if you choose to work it out and if you believe in the marriage, yeah, happiness is a choice. So, yeah.